Hi, everyone. I'm Yazad Dalal, Chief Growth Officer here at Joveo, and welcome to Recruiting Realities, where we bring to you the latest developments and insights in recruitment. And today, we're in Miami with some of the world's largest staffing firms here at SIA Executive Forum. And we're speaking again with our in-house labor market economist, David Garrett, about the U.S. jobs report for February 2025. Hello, David.
Hey, how are you? I wish I was in Miami.
Well, it's a little loud over here, so you and our listeners will forgive me. But for our listeners at Joveo, we publish interactive insights across all major occupations in the U.S. You can check them out on our website, joveo.com/interactive-insights. David, the most recent U.S. jobs report for February, the U.S. labor market added 151,000 jobs. Unemployment rate ticked up a little, back up to 4.1%. Sounds like good news, but we are recording this on March 11th. The stock market seems to be sending us only bad news so far this week. So I'm really curious about that. Across sectors, I think we saw gains in healthcare, financial activities, transportation, warehousing. In government, no surprise that the federal government declined by around 10,000 jobs, but yet overall payrolls increased by 11,000, which means state and local was positive. But again, these are lagging indicators, and I think we're very likely to see revisions, which are becoming more and more common. In fact, January's data was also revised downwards, with the economy only gaining an estimated 125,000 jobs compared to the original 143,000. And in Joveo's data, our own data, in the hot sectors like healthcare, we do see our clients continuing to get an increase in the number of qualified applicants per job. So David, I have lots of questions. Let's get started. First of all, what are your key takeaways from this latest report?
Yeah, I think the report it shows continues to show the economy is moderating and slowing down, but is still resilient. Although, as you mentioned, there's been a lot of changes since this report was capturing data. One thing I think many of our listeners should know is that the majority of the federal layoffs announced in February occurred after the survey to collect job change estimates had been sent out. So. Kind of like you mentioned, it's very likely we'll see a overall job growth decline for that sector, pushing government job growth potentially into the negatives, depending on how many cuts were actually carried through. It'll be really interesting to see what kind of change and revisions we see in the overall numbers next month, as you mentioned. And this report is just a kind of a holding point until we see future results or future numbers.
And what kind of forward-looking risks and changes do you think we're going to see as we go into April and the rest of this year? I mean, are we headed into a recession?
Yeah, it's very possible that some or even a lot of the negative shocks to the labor market caused by these federal cuts could be absorbed by other segments of the economy. You could have people moving into the private sector. And I think it is a little too early to say with high levels of confidence whether the U.S. is heading into a recession. But there will be rippling effects throughout the broader economy. These cuts in federal employment and in spending can impact private contractors. And, when you take into account that consumer confidence has declined, the share of workers holding multiple jobs has increased to its highest level since, I think, the Great Recession. As you mentioned, there's a lot of volatility in the markets because there's a lot of uncertainty and, with things like tariffs. The way I'm viewing is that any significant increases in unemployment could have more of a cascading negative effect on demand, which raises the risk of a recession.
Well, listen, thank you, David. Thank you to our listeners. Thanks for putting up with all the noise in the background here at SIA Executive Forum. And to all of you at home, don't forget to visit us at joveo.com. And we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, take care.